This is Rob Temple for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted to be joined by Frank Warren. Just had a little bit of a sing-song at the post-fight press conference following Tyson Fury's second round stoppage of Tom Schwarz. Frank, first and foremost, talk to me about that performance.
It was punch perfect. I know Ben said there's a couple of things he weren't happy with, but for me it's punch perfect. It's the first fight that he's had where he's actually trained for a fight rather than training to lose weight. So for me it was, he'd done everything he had to do. Great debut on ESPN. The crowd loved it. Afterwards they were all cheering. So he'd done the job.
What was the highlight of the night for you? Was it the performance itself? Was it the ring walk? Was it the song afterwards?
The performance. All I care about at the end of the day is the boxing. You can do all the best ring walks in the world and all the stuff that goes with it, but the bottom line is it's what you do in the ring that counts. And what he did in the ring was the business.
Just picking that straight back up. Just had a little bit of a phone call. You're a very busy man at the minute. As I just said, Anthony Joshua's American debut didn't go quite as expected. Tyson's Las Vegas debut. How important was it for him to not only win but win well like he did tonight?
Well, it was very important. It's all very well. You come out there, you've got great entrances. You've got all the razzmatazz, you've been all the chat shows. You've got to back that up in the ring, and he certainly did that.
Where are we next for an opponent? Obviously, the Wilder fight's been talked about for next year. As I understand, October the 5th at Madison Square Garden is what Bob Arum was talking about. I understand you haven't nailed down opponents or spoke about opponents yet, but what kind of tier opponent is it going to be? What kind of level?
Fight somebody in the top 5. You just fought the guy who's ranked number 2. He'll fight somebody in the top 5.
Dillian Whyte, after the fight, wasn't very impressed. He was lambasting it as a bit of a mismatch. Is that a fight that you potentially would be looking at October the 5th?
Listen, if he wants to hang on Tyson's coattails, he can do that with his comments, and I'm sure he is. But, at the end of the day, as regarding Dillian Whyte, I wanted to meet with him. We were quite interested in doing something with him with his fight, but he chose not to. So, let him say what he's got to say. I watched him against Derek Chisora twice, and there was nothing in it. In fact, I thought Derek just nicked the fights, both of them. And then I look at what Tyson did with Derek Chisora. That's all I need to know about what the outcome of that fight would be.
A lot of the talk this week has been about the Deontay Wilder fight. Some people thinking the deal had been done. You told me the other day that hadn't been done. Now that this fight's out of the way, how soon are you going to be entering negotiations for that?
The situation is, to be quite honest, is that you've heard him. You've heard it out of Tyson's mouth. He wants to fight. We want to make it happen, and that's what we're all working towards. I know that I know that Deontay wants it, so that's where we're at.
Bob Arum said that the rematch could be bigger than Mayweather-Pacquiao.
Look, they're the two best heavyweights out there. They're both undefeated. Probably the biggest punching heavyweight in the last 25 years, and for me, the best heavyweight boxer and can punch in the same period. Tyson's wants to cement his legacy being the best of his generation. He's the lineal champion. He's done everything that's asked of him. These two guys going in undefeated fighters with unfinished business. It's going to be huge.
We're joined again by Frank Warren. Away from tonight's show, you had another show tonight in Leeds. Josh Warrington successfully defended his IBF World Featherweight title against Kid Galahad. I know you watched the fight. What did you make of it?
I thought he won the fight. He won it by 3 rounds. I've been reading some of the reports. I thought the commentary, by the way, was, even though they're my channel and I work hard with BT, I thought the commentary wasn't very good. I wasn't very happy with the commentary, but I thought Josh did what he had to do against a guy who, you fight. Kid Galahad was fighting for a world title. He's coming as a challenger. You want to go and fight. You want to, not keep holding. It was horrible. He kept holding all the time. The referee warned him about 3 or 4 times. The referee, I believe, if he'd have said, I'm deducting a point, that would have stopped all of that. If he had deducted a point, it would have stopped it from happening and made it a better fight. But Josh did what he had to do. It's a bit like, I look at like Ricky Hatton. He never fought Junior Widder, and there's a reason for that. And they're similar type of styles. They're horrible fighters to fight. They're just, they never make an attractive fight. So anyway, he's done it. It's done. It was a mandatory defence. He's got that out of the way. So now we're looking for unifications. There's some great fighters out there. We've got Valdez, Santa Cruz. That's what I want for Josh.
You mentioned that you had Josh winning the fight by 3 rounds. A lot of people had it either a draw or some people had it in favour of Kid Galahad. You mentioned it was a mandatory defence of his title, so I understand that there's no rematch clause. Would you not be willing to potentially revisit that in the future?
Not at all. What do I want to inflict that on anybody for? I don't want. It costs me a fortune to pay Kid Galahad. What do I want to be giving him any more money for? It's not. He's not going to be entertaining. It's not his style. All the holding, all the mauling, and all that. That's not what you want. You want to see a fight. When have you seen Josh Warrington in the last couple of years in a bad fight? He comes to fight. He puts a show on. And the guys who fought him, Carl Frampton and Selby, they come to fight. This guy, he comes to frustrate and maul. That's not for me boxing. And all the holding, forever holding, it isn't the case. And I hear what you said about some of the people, but I've seen other reports, like for example Dave Anderson in the Mirror and so forth. They said that Josh won it. Listen, I don't need anybody to tell me who I thought won the fight. I know he won the fight. I don't care about their opinions. I know he won the fight, and you know what? And he did win the fight because he's got the decision.
You mentioned Oscar Valdez, Leo Santa Cruz. Which one of them is the most likely? We spoke to Josh Warrington straight after the fight. He said he wants Leo Santa Cruz in Las Vegas.
Yeah, well, we'd love to make it, and we're going to reach out for his people this week and see what we can do.
Just finally, before I let you go, there's been more talk this week about Anthony Kovalev. I know Bob Arum has said that a deal has been agreed in principle, it just needs to be signed. What update can you give me on that?
Well, they've got to move on it. We want it signed on. We've already signed one deal, and we're going to hopefully get this other deal over the line on Monday. That's what we're looking to do.
What's the situation with that? So the deal has to be signed, or the deal has to be agreed, and then the money has to be put up within 3 days. I think Bob was saying.
Well, that's what we'd want because obviously we signed last time and it didn't happen. So, I don't want to get into all the details. I mean, Bob said it. I don't want to get there with that. I want to wait until Monday. The terms are what they are, and we've all agreed the terms. And it's now all about the lawyers getting these, just amending the contract we've already signed, reflecting what we've agreed. And let's get the fight announced. My guy's been waiting to go. He's been sitting around. I feel so sorry for Anthony. He's such a nice guy, and he's willing to step up to the plate. He's willing to go to the other guy's backyard, Russia. How many fighters want to do that?
When is that going to be, realistically?
September.
Okay. Well, Frank Warren, thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Look forward to seeing you soon. Always looking fresh. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thank you, young man.
Cheers, Frank. It's nice one, mate.